Hello, everybody. Going live with Cheetara today. Um, Gonna make a quick share on the old page here, and we will be ready to rock and roll and knock this out. And let's see, live now. And the page. So we are going live with this one. I am here. I am just posting over to the page real quick. I have to change my settings to public. Public for everybody to see. I'm sorry, now I've set this thing at private, so now I have to change it over. Now everybody can see me. Yay! Isn't that special? This is the kind of day I've had. So I'm sharing this over to my page real quick. That's why you can't see me drawing, so stick with me, and we'll knock this thing out. Go over to my page there. Hey, there we go. Cool. All right. Sorry about that. Now, hey, Kevin. Alessandro, hey, man. How's it going? Just on Facebook Live here, so we're saying hello to everybody. If you guys are watching this later in one of my other social media outlets or whatever, float your boat. This is Cheetara from the ThunderCats, the original mid-'80s cartoon series, and I'm giving her that big 80s hair like she had. So, I mean, we're going all out with this thing. It's going to be awesome. I decided to do Panthro yesterday. When I said I was going to do Cheetara on Monday, I decided to go ahead and do Panthro yesterday and knock him out. And now we are on to the very beautiful Cheetara, which I know a lot of guys that had this thing on their walls, just like, you know, back in the early, the late 70s, early 80s. Everybody had Bo Derek and, you know, all these other great actresses up on their wall, you know. And in the 80s, it was weird. People had dragons and cartoon characters. A little strange, but it is what it is. So I'm not knocking anybody. It was what it was. I personally had Alyssa Milano up on mine. The overshare, I know, but still, it was fun nonetheless. You know, yeah, that's who I was hooked into at the time. That curved chin is messing with me right there because of the card. I'm trying to get it straightened out, but there we go. I don't want to block it off because then I want it to look like a dude. That'd be weird. And with this face design, it would look kind of like a Kiss character. It would be neat, but whatever. It's just one of those days, you know. I don't ever complain about bad days and things, but today, man, it's just crazy. I decided to do the card a little bit later, you know, after the 5 o'clock hour here for me in Central Time, because of the fact that I was just overwhelmed with some stuff going on. Had to take care of some personal meeting stuff and get all that done and whatnot. And yeah, it was crazy. Just a crazy afternoon. But knocking this hair out here and trying to make it where it doesn't go into her shoulder. Now, I'm going to start releasing some stuff next week, and I was going to ask you guys. Hey, Tom, Aaron, I saw you, buddy. I was going to ask you guys, you know, what are you wanting to learn from this course? Because I'm going to be teaching a specific how to create comics and stuff, and I want to get some feedback on it. You know, there's a lot of the business side of it that people just don't understand. And if you're looking to make a job out of being a comic artist or comic creator, this may not be the course for you. But if you're looking at making a business out of it and selling, your graphic novels or your comics or whatever, that would definitely be something that you would be interested in for this course. Because I'm going to show you how to draw, period. But I'm also going to take it from the writer's perspective and add a writing section and a business section. And that's something a lot of us just don't have. I had to learn it the hard way because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a little bit different than just a standard comic book artist looking for a page, a page contract or whatever. By the way, if you heard me just pause right there, there was a reason for that. It's because the throat drop that I'm using for my allergies to keep my throat from going into a laryngitis state, it almost slipped down my throat. It's just one of those days. I'm telling you, my throat ache tried to kill me. But no, seriously though, I'm digging into this thing real heavy, and I'm going old school with the style development that I had. I'm using the fundamentals of how I learned how to draw and what I've picked up over the years and whatnot. As you can see, I'm having to smooth these lines out because this card's really gritty. Because it's just one of those heavy frayed ones. It's a little hairy. But anyway, yeah, what I was saying was I'm going to build out this platform to show you guys how to do the drawings and stuff. But I'm also going to show you how to develop your style instantly. That's one of the big things. You're going to learn all the fundamentals you need, but then you're going to learn specifically how to develop your style through comic book art and how to incorporate everybody else's style that you want to learn and all the features and stuff, and how to build your own style. Because that's one of the things that comic artists have to have is their own voice and their own visual style. And if you don't have that yet, you really need to work on finding it. I mean, you can see this right here. You guys have seen enough of my cards. I guarantee you, if I lay 10 cards on a table and 2 of them are mine, you guys are going to be able to pick them out. And it's just because of the fact that you're looking for my card, you'll know exactly like it is. Just like looking for Jim Lee or, Mark Silvestri or Rob Liefeld, Eric Larson, Mark Brooks. If you know those guys' work, you can pick this stuff out really, really quick. And that's where I want you to be, is to where you have a signature style for your comic art. And that's what I want people to learn from my course is, one, how to draw from the basic fundamentals purposely and cut through them to where you can make work, and then you come back and say, okay, this is the way I want my style, and this is what I like to draw, and this is the artist I like, and this is the artist I like. And you take the best features from those stylized artists and know how to read them to get the attributes you want, the look you want. So a lot of people just say, well, it takes practice and it takes this and it takes that. Yes, it does. Absolutely. If you're not putting in the artwork every day, then you're shooting yourself in the foot every time that you pull that trigger. You're backfiring that gun right off in your own leg. And these guys that come up and they're just phenomenal artists and they're the big guys that are at the top right now, you got to understand, Jim Lee been doing this since the late 80s, the mid 80s, early 80s. I think it was 83, 84. He said he started showing his work. And then, now in his 50s, he is basically running a big chunk of the DC Comics universe and has a big incorporated franchise with them. And, Todd McFarlane is out there doing his own thing with Spawn, but he started in the early 80s. He was drawing Hulk when nobody knew who he was. He was drawing Infinity Wars when nobody knew who he was. Rob Liefeld, same thing. The mid to late 80s, he was around and got popular off of New Mutants. But before that, he was working for DC in the early 80s and nobody even knew who he was. He was drawing Hawk and Dove, and he was drawing Hawkman and a couple of other characters earlier on that he got to do, and nobody even knew who he was. And it went on from there. And there's just tons of stuff like that. Will Patasio had to come in as an inker because he wasn't good enough to do penciling. And, he came in the late 80s, early 90s. And then you had Jim Lee drawing things like The Punisher. And he drew a couple of Spider-Man things, and he drew a couple of Hulk things, and he drew a couple of a lot of the Punisher War Journal he did in the late 80s, early 90s, and nobody even knew he did it. And I've got a lot of those issues, and they're just beautiful stuff, but that you couldn't tell who it was. And, a lot of the time, Jay Lee got credit for it because people couldn't read Jim's signature at the time, and he would mark his stuff Jim Lee so quickly it looked like Jay Lee's signature. So go check out the Punisher War Journal stuff, the colored standard comics, not the black and whites. There was a black and white magazine out there that you guys won't be able to recognize as far as Jim Lee goes because of the fact that it's not, that wasn't Jim. Now I've raised this line way too far, so I've got to move it so I can put in the cat symbol for the ThunderCats. So, because in the original version, her suit comes down this way, but it doesn't go all out. So we got to put the nice censorship symbol right in the chest there. So, yeah. And it's not going to be perfectly round. I want it to look hand-drawn, and we'll definitely get that effect. Because it's scratchy. But, we'll get that put in. I should have put that in sooner, but, like I said, one of those days. Oh, well. But anyway, yeah, some of those older guys, they made their mark, and nobody even knew who they were at the time, and it was crazy the way they got in there and got it done and just took care of business, So many people just left them hanging, and they were like, well, now I'm famous, and now I'll do stuff. And that's when the early 90s took off, and then they got they made their fame and fortune. And some people say that it's Todd McFarlane that started all that. Some people say it's Rob Liefeld that started all that. It depends on who you ask. They were all working together at the same time anyway, so it really doesn't matter. They all got together and got the spark and got the conversation, and they said, well, bye-bye Marvel. And that's where it was. But in this course that I'm building up, I'm putting out, like I said, a lot of the old school quick start fundamentals, and it's not basic 101 stuff. It's a little bit different than that. Everybody's afraid that I'm going to do a 101 type thing, and it's not. What I'm building out is a lot more than that, because I'm giving you specific comic speed line type of drawing techniques, which the cool thing about the framework is you can drive it up to any of that. Okay. Hey Jim, glad you made it, man. The funny thing about that, hey Gavin, hey Brandon, the funny thing about that, Matt asked it, you remember the days back when everybody used to do a house style. DC finally jumped the banister on that one, and here recently, just in the last couple of years, and they got out of that 1950s, 60s style they had, and they really jumped it off. And Marvel used to have a style. They actually did. The older guys used to draw a house style, and it was based off of Sal Buscema and John Buscema and a couple of those other old school guys, the old guard, and they all drew like that because that's what they set the standard as for those comics. And the reason they got the house style like that is because so many artists did the same similar work, and they would ghost for each other to make sure everybody got a paycheck, because they didn't care about the bullpen not making money the way they used to. They were all about everybody being able to survive and keep doing comics. So they would build it out and go from there. And that's where a lot of that came from, is them ghosting for each other. I mean, half their books, if a guy would get sick, they would come in and say, okay, well, we're going to fix that. And if another guy would fill it in and do the artwork just like his stuff and his style. So they were all universally bound to that style and type just to keep that going. But the funny thing about it is DC has, like I said, DC has finally jumped. And Disney's doing the classic Disney 50s style stuff now, so it's really strange. But DC made that jump and got out of that 70s, 60s, 70s rut that they were in for a long time, and now they have way more stuff in there. In the last 10 years or so, they had a lot of Ed McGuinness stuff. They had a lot of Rob Liefeld was in there, and Mark Silvestri went over there for a little bit. Mark Bagley's been he's jumped over there for good God, 15 years now, something like that. He's been working back and forth, and he was doing a few Spider-Man titles a week, and then he would jump back over and do a couple of DC comics and slip them in, and used to tick Marvel off to no end because he wouldn't sign an exclusive contract. And when his contract expired from the original one, boy, he was gone like a shot. And that used to bust me up because he would do just these great books. He would do Batman, he would do the Teen Titans for a little while. He was just on a ton of stuff, and nobody even realized that he had jumped ship until later, because he was doing that whole that ghost writer thing, or that ghost artist thing. He did that a lot and took on a much different style. And like he did with the Ultimates, you couldn't even tell it was Mark Bagley's work except for the expressions. And if you weren't a fan, you couldn't see it at all. It was just really strange. But that's what I'm looking at doing with this course, is showing everybody how to build up the basic framework like I do on these layouts, and then applying your own features to it. Because if you know where the foundation is, you can build your own stuff on top of that and build out your own style without any problem. But nobody teaches the techniques of framing, so that's the problem. They don't know how anymore, and everybody's got a stylized way of doing it within their own artwork to make it look the way that it's supposed to with their personal style. And I was taught differently, so I teach differently. I get out there and show, okay, here's the framework, here's how you can do it. I can show you how to draw a head or a hand or whatever by the mechanics of the way I do it. And because I want characters to be diverse, I show how to do that. So that's what that course is going to be about. And I just want to see if you guys are interested in it or not, because I know there's an interest in the industry, but with everything changing the way it is, I'm kind of curious. Are you looking to find your own voice and do your own thing, or are you just looking to move forward with tips, tricks, techniques, whatever? What are you guys looking for? Because I'm going to accommodate both sides of that coin, as it were. And you're still going to be able to get free stuff from me. I'm still going to be doing the cards and whatnot. It's just I want to better help everybody, and the only way to do that is to monetize it, because I've got to pay for my time, as it were, because I'm so crazy busy already. But I love hanging out with you guys every day, and this stuff is phenomenal, and this card set is getting huge, as President Trump would say. He likes using the big words, man. So please, no political comments. I don't like it. I don't like it. It scares me. But she's coming along very quickly here. So you guys let me know what you think about it, because that's where it's going to go. I'm going to put one or two more of these in here, and then that's about it, because I don't want to mess this up. And she's starting to look really, really pretty. So I don't want to mess it up with other spots, man. So I think we've got that going. And I'm going to try a very sad attempt again, because I didn't pencil it in the first time. I need to be swatted for that. But I'm going to draw in a loose logo here for the ThunderCats. Let's see. The ThunderCats, they're coming to do it. They're coming to take me away. Ha ha. I don't know if many of my followers would find that funny, because a lot of people don't know that there's an old song out there that does that. And don't ask me the title of it, because my mind just went blank. Okay. Looks kind of like a pet pig, doesn't it? But we'll refine that when I go to ink it. I'll make that look nice and proper. So with this done, I'm going to leave it open, and that's where we're at with Cheetara. I don't want to mess up on this. Thanks, Brandon. I appreciate it, man. Let's see where we're at right now. We've got Lion-O right here. So we've got Tigra right there. And we've got Panther down here in the corner. And we've got Cheetara now. And I'll slide this up so you guys can see all of the fun here. Hey, Alfred, you made it, man. Awesome. See, now you can check it out and see where we're going from there. There we go. Cool deal. All right. So tomorrow we start on Wily Kit and Wily Cat. That will be the tomorrow edition of the collection, and we're gonna move into that, man. But yeah, you guys definitely let me know what you think, and if you are trying to get into comics and you want to know what's going on with artwork and all that good stuff, let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback on it, and if you got something to say about the cards or whatever, that's fine too. I take that stuff. I take critiques openly, but with a grain of salt. Don't take it personal if I say, if I don't take your suggestion and add it, because it'll manipulate my style and change things. But as far as that goes, we've got Cheetara out there. I'm going to put her out here by herself so you can see her. And we will go tomorrow with, like I said, Wily Kit and Wily Cat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I know this was a quick one in comparison, but open floor. There's a couple of you guys watching right now. If you have any questions, let me know. What would you like to see? If, like I said, when I put out this course, what would you guys like to see from it? Because what I have right now is a basic drawing course to where you'll be able to step in, build your framework, get your stuff set up, speed it up, post it, and then learn how to build your style on top of that. And that way you won't have to learn a cloning style like mine, because I don't want you to draw like me. I want you to draw like you want to draw. And I want to show you how to do that. But think about that. Post those things, and I'll look forward to it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.